Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dive into Real Estate Investing for Newbies. I have a special guest, just Adam Nasir, just a great guy, very experienced, been in the real estate industry for quite a while, just helping a lot of people. He's a system guy. One thing that attracted me to him, and man, I'm just excited. I like to welcome Adam to the show.
Yeah, so how I started, it's a good story because, I always wanted to learn from somebody else that was doing it. So what I did is I found people that were doing it well, and then I learned from them. And I took a little bit of a different route. So most people were doing a traditional wholesale, find a seller, assign the deal, lock it up in a contract and sign the deal. I wasn't really doing that side. What I was doing was all fix and flip, and I was all buying through the auctions, the foreclosures, bank-owned properties and auctions. I was buying. It started with just a few homes, and it turned into hundreds of homes across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think you told me you've done like over 170 something rehabs now.
Well, it's over 500 at the total tally. In deals done, I'd say it's probably around that. It's lost track after a while, but in a 2-year stretch, I did 170, and it was in about 13 or 14 states that we did.
Wow, man, how is it?
Like I actually closed on these houses.
How do you actually manage that? Because I know we talked, and it's funny because you even doing deals in my backyard,
Yeah,
from where
I
you
have
from. So
deals, yeah, Baton Rouge right
that's
now.
great. Yeah, that's crazy. So
It's great because you're gonna help me with the roofer part, and I love it.
right, right. How are you managing actually managing these contractors being, out of the country, either out of state? How are you doing that?
In anything, it really boils down to your systems and your people. When you have good systems, you just essentially have to boil it down to building a very effective system. And there's so many CRMs and things out there that are just overly complicated. I just built everything on a very simple Google Sheets. You might think that that's basic, but you can get really clever and creative. I built a really elaborate and clever system, and then I hired the right people in the right places to manage it. So the simple answer is building a very efficient, clean, and simple to follow system, and then hiring the right people in those buckets that are gonna manage it for you.
Okay. So let me ask you this. When you first started off,
Yeah.
did you immediately get into wholesaling, or were you a agent, a real estate agent? Did you do retail? Like, how did you exactly get in, and how did you start from
Yeah.
there?
So there was a local wholesale company that was, assigning and doing deals locally. And then I was just doing their dispositions for them. So I would, find a deal that they would have a deal under contract, and I would be, calling the investors, pitching them the deal, boiler room style, like, hey, we got a 3-2 in this neighborhood. We got it for 70 grand. We bought it for 55. It was definitely old school hustle. And then once I learned that, then I just essentially found people that I could learn from. So started with the wholesale, and then just kind of found people that I could model and learn from.
So you found a mentor, somebody that can actually teach you how to effectively do it, where you can set it up and do system.
Yeah.
So so now from you being a wholesaler to now eventually getting into starting your own business, did you always do rehab, or was wholesaling one way you found your rehabs, of course, but was wholesaling just your main way of just wholesaling deals, or did you get rehab? Did you do both at the same time?
Yeah. As an investor, sometimes it happens to everybody. You get this greed of saying, okay, well, I can make 10 grand on it now. Or man, if I just do a little bit of paint and carpet, I can make 40.
Right,
Like everybody has, like we've all had that. Like
right,
every
right,
investor, any serious investor has been like, okay, I can make my 10 now, or I can make my 40 or 50 if I do just this.
right.
And I was like, all right, well, why not? If I can close on it and paint it, do all the stuff, and I can make more, let's squeeze more out of the deal. And then, one or two turned into 20, turned into hundreds.